Okay, let's see if we are live. All right, we are live. We are good to go. So today we're looking at a deal in San Antonio, 13306 Welsh Pony, 41,000. I'm assuming that's entry fee. So down payment cost is 41,950. There's an interest rate at 2.9%. I'm assuming that means that's the interest rate for the subject to loan, which means that we would be taking over the payments subject to the existing financing. And the seller finance at 3%. Okay, so monthly payment is $1,895 PITI for the sub 2 loan, $217 for the seller finance, $58 for the HOA, and another $209 for the solar. Okay. On the last page, you see transaction documents, clear bill of access, and a balloon in 7 years. Okay, so that means it's going to be due. Okay, that means it's going to be due on that day. All right, so let's take a quick look at the photos for this property. Let's see if I can make it more centered. And if you want the full screen version, you can always go to youtube.com/@Kent_HE. And you can subscribe there. Doesn't cost you any money to subscribe. I've been doing analysis every single day, so you guys can get notified every single time I go live. All right, let's keep going. So this home actually looks pretty good. I don't really see much renovations that's needed. Is this the loft area? Hold on. Huh, interesting. It's a stairway up to this area. And the reason it intrigues me is because just in case you want to add an additional bedroom, that little loft area could potentially qualify as an additional bedroom if you just kind of frame it. So something good to know. Looks like there is solar on this property. Nice children's backyard. All right. Price breakdown. This is a single family, 2 attached garage spaces, 5 bedrooms. All right. It's already 5 bedrooms. ROI estimated cash flow $300, estimated LTR rent $2,600. Okay. So, let's see. Documents, PITI. That's the purchase sale agreement. What is this? This is the property report, estimated $2,400. Okay. There's HOA docs. Okay, good enough. All right, what we're going to do next is we're going to go and do our own research. So just because someone gives you the rents doesn't mean you have to trust it entirely. So I'm going to go click on FY 2024 rents. And this county, let's see, 13306 Welsh Pony. San Antonio, Texas. Let's see if it's on Redfin. Oh, excuse me. I just want to get the county. Let's see. County in Bexar County. So we're going to go to Texas and do Bexar County. Hey, Andy, how you doing? Are you underwriting these deals with me or what? Let's do it together, man. All right. So the zip code is 78254. 78254. This is a 5 bedroom, so I'm going to assume it's going to be a little bit higher than that. 78254. 2850 as the rent ceiling. Okay, that makes me feel pretty good about it. Let me write this down. Let me write this one down. 2854. So I want to get the 4 bedroom at 2850. That's a great rent ceiling at 4 bed. This was 78254. 78254. I don't have the bedroom count for the 5 bedroom, but right now it looks like it should be a little bit higher than that. Actually, it's been going up almost roughly 500. I don't know. It'll be 3350 then. So I know this doesn't go up to the 5 bedroom on here, but usually it's like a proportional increase. But we could probably find that out later. Let's just see if it's a deal right now, just using 4 bedroom rents, just in case. Let's see what's happening here. 4 bedroom, and then we want to get rents for 5 bedroom. So how we get the market rents is we go to affordablehousing.com. Go to the owner section, market rent estimator. We want to type in this address right here. Whoops. I forgot I lost a copy paste. Let me plug that right in here. Boom. And then this is a 5 bedroom. So we'll go look for the rents for the 5-bedroom. And even though we have a 5-bedroom rent here, 25 units for within a 1.44 mile radius, the rent is 2379. 2379. 2481 for the zip. 2424, 2424, and 2457. Okay. I'm also going to look at the rents for 4-bedroom and just see what's going on here. Maybe there's no lift if you go from a 4 to 5. Let's see. 2178. 2178 for 25 units within a 0.34 mile radius. All right. So this makes me feel pretty good about using this number at 2,400 because that's also what the wholesaler was recommending. But I had to do my own diligence and verify what it actually might look like. So at 2178, 2135, 2083. This makes me feel pretty good about using $2,379 as my rent. So I'll just put $2,400 for my rental assumption right now, because it doesn't matter what my FMR is in the scenario if my market rent is going to be lower than FMR. And you can see that because the market rent for a 4-bedroom is already lower than a 4-bedroom FMR, I'm going to assume that's going to follow the same trend, even though I did not see that on HUD's website. Now, the reason you want to do this is because there's a rent reasonableness test that the housing authority typically goes through, which means that even though the rent ceiling might be higher than what you might expect, they are not going to allow you to charge more rent to a tenant, to a voucher holder, simply because they're a voucher holder for the obvious reasons. So those are all the items that you want to make sure that you think about as you're determining your rental assumptions. Even though the highest rent might be $2,379, well, the fair market rent might be higher, but you're not going to be able to charge the highest rent. All right, so now let's go and plug in some more numbers for this property. Well, actually, hold on. Let's check out the area on top app because I want to check out the crime score for this area. I want to see if it's a safe neighborhood. 13306. I'm assuming it is if it's in like a gated community, but you never know. Let's just take a quick look at it. You go to tophap.com, tophap.com. You can go to the neighborhood section and see what crime score looks like. Crime score for this area is 44. Really, really safe neighborhood. So I feel good about this area. 44 is like well below the national average. All right. That makes sense. So the next thing I want to do is I want to plug in all the numbers related to this deal. And if I remember correctly, I want to get the balance right here. So where is the principal? Regular monthly payment, $1,895, including escrow taxes and insurance. What is the balance? $235,706. $235,706. That's your balance. 0.74. What was the original balance? The original amount. Did you say that? Nope. Okay, no problem. We'll just call it 2.9%. And then the purchase price for this property was $329,136. $329,136. See, there's a price breakdown right here. $42,000 down payment. So let's just do $42,000. They don't say what the exact seller finance amount is. So I'm just going to assume that's going to be the purchase price minus the cash to seller minus the principal, and that's $51,000. 3%. So whatever numbers I might have messed up in the amount, I'm just going to back it out of it, because what I'm trying to achieve here is getting to the number of 2379.9. So I'm going to go to my taxes section. It goes 2379.9 minus the sub-2 principal, interest, the principal and interest of the both loans. For the sub-2 loan, which is the principal interest, and then also the loan for the seller finance piece. And that's going to give me a total amount of $1,895 PITI, $217 seller finance. 2379. Oh, that's including the solar too. So that's why it comes out to be so high, because there's solar payment included in that. And I'm just gonna add an extra $35 for the payments. And now I'm gonna have 10% for my war chest set aside. I'm gonna assume my property manager is gonna be 8% on this area, 0.08. I'm assuming it's a little bit lower because this is a nicer area. You might be able to find easier help or better help out here. 8%, and then 3% for vacancy. All right, cool. Now what I have, this is not a deal for me. Well, I could probably lower the rehab expenses first, but because the cash flow is so off, this is probably not going to be a deal. I want to put in money to paint the place. How many square feet is this? 2540. But that's pretty much it. That's all the money I'm gonna set aside for this property, because the flooring looks great. It looks relatively turnkey. Don't really need to do much. So that's gonna be a 12 grand max rehab that I set aside every single month. Before I had to delete this $20,000 because I had $20,000 from yesterday's underwriting where I was adding an extra room. So now I'm analyzing this deal, and $42,000 cash for seller. I'm gonna delete that. There's no more assignment because I already included it. Closing cost is $8,200, and boom, that's pretty much it. All right. So assuming this is a 5-bedroom and I can get my rent of $2,400, which is just slightly above the market rent I saw, this is a negative $520 cash flow. So that is not a deal for us. Minus 9.9%. So I can see why they don't want to keep it themselves. Not just because they want to sell and make an assignment fee, but because there's really no cash flow on this property, and you can see why. Now, some folks might say, well, your rent is $2,400 and your total, people like to market deals that way. Your rent is $2,400 and your PITI, your holding cost is $2,340. So you're neutral, but that's really not the case, right? You know you have to pay some property management. You know you have to have some vacancy expenses because everybody moves out of a home eventually at some point, and you know something breaks in the home every day. So that's why you got to make sure you have numbers in there for maintenance. You might say, well, it's a newer Furlandra. Hey, Furlandra, if you have questions, let me know what questions you have. Just DM me anytime on Instagram at @InvestWithKenHe, or you can even leave a comment on the video here. So we can always talk through it. If not today, then tomorrow. I do this for the community, so I'm all about answering questions. So just let me know what kind of questions you have. All right, awesome. So today, that's it for today. We've been analyzing deals every single day for the past 103 days. This habit has been formed. I feel weird literally not underwriting deal. I'll be honest with you, I thought about stopping. And I literally was driving in the car and I said, why on earth would I stop this habit? And it's always my mindset of trying to go back to what I was comfortable with, which was not underwriting live. So even though this habit has been formed, I could not suppress the thought that's in my brain that says like, hey, you know what? You already did it for 100 days. Why don't you take a break? And I didn't want to do it because I knew that there would be people that would benefit from this. And every single time I do one of these things, it helps people and it gives you another outlet. So if you are struggling to decide how to start your journey, well, you can just simply copy what I'm doing, look at the same property I looked at today, and analyze it again tomorrow using the same numbers, using the same spreadsheet. Just DM me on Instagram. You want to copy the spreadsheet at @InvestWithKenHe so that I can email it to you. Because I know how hard it is to get started. And sometimes people are wondering, well, how do I raise capital? And to be super clear, this is not a solicitation for any investments. This is not investment advice at all. But people will ask me like, hey, how do you raise capital? Well, what are the character traits of someone that you would want to invest with? I would say I would want to invest with someone that is consistent, most importantly, and they do what they say they're going to do. And if you post on social media saying, hey, I'm going to underwrite a deal live every single day for the next 100 days, boom. Doesn't matter if no one's looking at your stories right now, but you know you put it out there, and hopefully that motivates you to keep yourself accountable to keep going. And then all of a sudden, your partners might ask, well, why do you think this is a deal? Then you can also point to your YouTube channel of about the last 100 deals that you looked at that were not deals. And then you can explain to them, hey, this is the implied work of buying deals. in order to buy a deal, you probably have to analyze like 10, 50, or 100 deals before you buy a deal. This is the implied work that no one really talks about. And hopefully this gives you the confidence to look back and pull the trigger when the time comes, but also develop your own criteria for each market so you can decide whether or not you want to pull the trigger. So all I'm doing is just sharing with you what I'm doing every single day. And I hope you do this with me, because it's frankly a lonely journey. Sometimes when your family and friends aren't doing this alongside with you, the friends that you grew up with, it can be lonely. And that's why we create a community. That's why we do this together. And honestly, I just offered this to somebody else I was DMing earlier. But hey, if you do this for 99 days in a row, I'd be happy to bring you onto the lives with me. Let's analyze the deal together. Let's promote one another, because collaboration happens at the top and competition only happens at the bottom. If we all have the mindset to help one another to succeed, share our resources with one another, I truly believe this is how we'll solve the affordable housing problem, so that a wait list in San Diego doesn't have to be 12 to 15 years. My mom waited 3.5 years for her first rental, grinding, living in a 2-bedroom home with 9 people. When I was living in affordable housing, my building stopped taking applications for like a couple of years. And even if you had applications, it was like a 7-year wait list. I'm not willing to accept that. And I hope you don't want to accept that either, because God forbid someone down your family line at some point needed an affordable housing rental and there wasn't a home for them. I am not willing to accept that they don't have a home because I didn't do enough to help the world create more supply of affordable housing. So thank you so much for caring about affordable housing, everybody. Without people like you, I would have never had a home I grew up in. So let's keep doing this together. Let's keep analyzing deals together. Let's stay consistent. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow.